Happy October, everyone! Spooky season has officially begun, and I'm happy to be coming at you with a video that has been pretty much an entire year in the making. Last year, if I recall correctly, I made 2 spooky season videos about Hey Arnold. One was about the haunted train, and the other one was about the headless cabbie. If you missed out on those videos, well, that sucks, but I'll link them down in the description so that you can check them out after you're done watching this one. They turned out fantastic, if I do say so myself, and I'm sure that you're gonna dig them. But in the comments of both of those videos, I came across multiple people telling me that neither of those were the scariest episodes of Hey Arnold. The one that a lot of people said was the scariest episode may actually come as a surprise to you, or maybe it won't. We'll see. That's why today, on our nostalgic walk down memory lane, we're going to check out what many of you have hailed as the all-time scariest episode of Hey Arnold, Ghost Bride. This episode is one that I look back on with mixed emotions. I remember it being a great episode, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't shake me to my core as a kid. Let's see if it holds up now like it did back then. In the beginning, we see all of the kids walking past the cemetery while Harold is just freaking out because the cemetery is full of dead people. Stinky remarks that Harold better get used to it because they'll probably end up being buried there someday. Rather dark take from our boy Stinky, but hey, we'll take it. Harold says that hopefully that's going to be far in the future, but Sid responds by saying unless you end up like the Ghost Bride, which naturally ends up prompting Gerald to jump right into one of his flawless urban legends.
You mean you've never heard the sad, tragic, and horrifying tale of the Ghost Bride?
Go ahead, Gerald.
I know that story! It's my favorite story! Come on, let me tell it.
You may know the story, Curly, but we all know Gerald is the keeper of the tale, so Gerald's gonna tell it.
But I know it too!
Come on, Curly, let Gerald tell it!
Gerald tells them the story of a woman who lived 80 years ago and was madly in love and was counting down the days until she would be married. Her fondest dream would be that they always love each other. The day of her wedding, her husband-to-be skipped out and left her at the altar. She found out that he ran off and fell in love with her sister, and the very next day, her sister and fiancé got married to one another, leaving her in scorn. The night of their honeymoon, the woman put on her wedding dress and grabbed a giant axe. She went to their house, right into their room, and this happened.
They never saw the terrible event coming. When the police came, they found her sitting in the rocking chair next to the bodies, rocking herself and smiling while she hummed the wedding march. Then in horror, they could only watch as she jumped from her chair and leaped out the window, resulting in her demise.
Now, every year on the anniversary of her gruesome deeds, she comes back and wanders the cemetery, humming the ominous wedding march and awaiting her next victim.
I could have told the story much better than that, and you left out the most important part, that the anniversary of the horrible murders is tonight!
I wonder if she'll actually appear.
The only way we know for sure is to be here when it gets dark.
As you would expect, all of the kids agree to meet up at the cemetery at sundown to see if the Ghost Bride actually shows up.
Or twisted little freak. So, what time do you guys want to meet up?
Helga, it's kind of a boys-only thing.
Yeah, it's not for girls.
Girls get scared too easy.
What are you talking about? I won't get scared.
It's a fella thing.
Helga goes home very angry and decides to find a nice dress and some supplies, saying that she's gonna scare the living hell out of the boys. We cut to all the boys at sundown meeting at the cemetery. As they walk in, Helga shows up right behind them and shuts the gate, chaining it shut and locking them all in.
Here lies Cynthia Snell. She lived her life and went straight to... I can't read the rest.
We see the kids getting unnerved as the sun starts to go down, though it's not actually dark yet. They all convince themselves that they've made it to sundown and that there's no Ghost Bride, so they're just gonna leave. Of course, they make it to the gate, and we see this happen.
Ghost Bride, she did it! She's already picked us for her next victims!
We're all gonna die. She's gonna hack us to pieces with her big bloody axe.
Harold, take it easy. A guard must have locked it. Why don't we just cross the cemetery to the north gate and see if that's open?
Yeah, good.
Can somebody carry me?
As they walk through the cemetery, they hear the ghostly sound of someone humming that ominous wedding march.
What's that?
It sounds like the wedding march.
That's the same song the Ghost Bride was humming when she hacked her sister and almost has me in pieces. She's out there just waiting for us.
It's probably just somebody visiting the cemetery who just happens to be humming the wedding march. It's not the Ghost Bride.
The boys sprint away and they make it to the north gate, but right when they approach the gate, it closes and the lock bar falls into place. The boys freak out when the gate starts shaking profusely and they all run off, though we find out that it's just Helga pulling on the rope nearby.
All we have to do is come up with a plan to get out of here.
It's her. She's coming with her big bloody axe.
Eugene, cut it out.
Sorry, guys. It's just such a catchy tune.
We're all gonna die.
It's okay,
No,
Harold.
it's not.
Cut it out, Eugene. It wasn't me.
The Ghost Bride appears again and they all sprint away while Helga laughs, calling them idiots for believing that the Ghost Bride is real.
What a dirty trick.
I ought to pound you, Helga.
I was just getting back at you for not letting me come along because I was a girl. But that's not important right now because I just saw the real Ghost Bride and she's right behind me.
Helga tries to tell them that she saw the real Ghost Bride, but none of them believe her until they see it with their own eyes. The group runs and hides in a nearby mausoleum, which Gerald locks up using a shovel that he finds.
Do you think she saw us?
No, we're safe for now.
Look, there she goes.
She's not leaving. I think she knows we're in here.
Maybe not. We just gotta wait until she goes away, and then we can get out.
They all wait it out and watch out the window as the Ghost Bride keeps repeatedly walking around the perimeter of the mausoleum. Arnold ends up deciding that they can't just remain there like sitting ducks and that they need to find a way out.
Who's with me? Okay, then. I'll go by myself.
What? Don't be crazy, Arnold.
The Ghost Bride will get you and hack you up just like her sister and her former intended.
But we have to do something. We can't just stay in here forever.
Sure we can. These guys did.
But they're dead.
What's your point?
Arnold ends up venturing out and he takes Gerald with him while everyone else stays behind and cowers in fear. They successfully hide from the Ghost Bride as she walks by, but when Arnold catches a close glimpse, he reveals that he isn't too sure that this is actually a Ghost Bride.
Arnold, what are you doing?
I can't believe you'd pull such a dirty trick.
I can't believe how nice you look in that dress.
Curly reveals that he's angry because Gerald got to tell the story and that he thinks it's not fair, to which all of the kids decide that they're gonna lock him inside of the mausoleum for the night. Arnold explains that he noticed Curly wearing red socks earlier, and when the Ghost Bride walked by, he noticed those same exact red socks, and he had a feeling that this was just the kind of prank that Curly would try to pull.
Think we should go back and let him out?
Don't worry. It'll only take him about a half an hour to figure out that the door only locks from the inside.
Helga, is that you? Come on, this isn't a joke. Let me out. Come on, Helga. Helga!
One thing I love about these scary episodes of Hey Arnold is that they always leave you questioning your perception of things by the end of the episode. In the haunted train, at the end we see the same steam engine hauling ass down the tracks while the ghostly conductor is on the front, though it's already been revealed that that was all a made-up story. In the Headless Cabbie, it was revealed that what the kids thought was the Headless Cabbie was actually Mr. Wynn and Ernie, but at the end, we see the same woman from that story entering the cabbie, ominously foreshadowing Ernie's death. Then, in this episode, we find out that the Ghost Bride isn't real and that it was just Helga and Curly pulling two separate pranks. However, at the very end, while Curly is alone, we hear the haunting sound of the ghost bride humming the wedding march, implying that there is a chance that the ghost bride does truly exist and that Curly might be her next victim. This episode, all things considered, was actually fantastic. It had the spooky horror element, a nice mystery with a plot twist, and it kept us as viewers very engaged throughout the whole thing. Helga playing a mean-spirited trick like that feels all too justified. The boys tried to exclude her for the simple fact that she's a girl, and as I touched on in my Dark Side of Hey Arnold video about Helga, that's a common issue that she faces. The boys exclude her sometimes because she is a girl, yet the girls exclude her sometimes because they don't think that she's girly enough. Honestly, if I was Helga, I probably would have pulled the same mean trick on them too. However, Curly on the other hand can just kind of fuck off. He was butthurt because Gerald always gets to tell the stories, which, okay, in his defense, that is kind of unfair if you're really wanting to tell an urban legend, but like, Gerald is literally the group-appointed keeper of the tales. He's always the one telling the urban legends, and that's his thing, and he's really good at it too. Curly was just being salty and decided to play a prank because he didn't get what he wanted. Curly didn't even do a good job of it either. At least Helga put some effort into it. She put on the makeup, she locked them in, she rigged the doors to shake, and she had a fun time chasing them around and terrorizing them. Curly, on the other hand, was just kind of lazy about it. He just kind of put on the dress and walked around with a croquet mallet or what the hell ever. It was overall just a low-effort prank on his part, and it certainly could have been executed better. But what do you think? Do you think Curly was justified? More importantly, do you think that this is the scariest episode of Hey Arnold? Let me know in the comments down below. I always love reading your guys' feedback. If you enjoyed this video, do me a solid and drop a like and give praise to the YouTube algorithm in hopes that it pushes this video to everyone else. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.